Welcome back to Witness Richness. It's your man's JCP, and as always, I am super excited to be back in front of the camera. This week, I want to talk to you about challenging yourself, and not just challenging yourself to do the things you know you need to do, but to challenge yourself to do the things you know you don't want to do. Let me take you out to the intro. See you back here in a minute. Okay, so listen, in today's society, in our civilization, it's so easy to realize why, a lot of us aren't challenging ourselves, spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially. This world, our society, is built off convenience. We literally build society up to have to do less and have to worry about less. I mean, these days, we don't have to drive our own cars anymore, okay? But challenging yourself is how you expand yourself. Challenging yourself is how you grow yourself. And sometimes we get so caught up in our own just ways of thinking in our own lives that we're not challenging ourselves spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, emotionally. Again, challenging yourself in these areas of life so you can expand yourself. Now listen, let me share two stories with you how there was times in my life where I noticed where I did not challenge myself. And fast forward 10, 15 years later, I realized, wow, if I had challenged myself back then at that point in time, it would have helped me so much more at this point in time. Now, with that being said, I'm fine with the present and I'm fine with divine time. But realizing that there were challenges that I walked away from that could have helped me grow and expand. Okay, because that's what challenges do. They help you grow and expand. Okay, so first and foremost, when I was in 7th grade, junior high school, East Junior High, we had this program called TAG, and the acronym stood for Talented and Gifted. Now, I was well aware of this program, and I seen all the other kids in the program, and I thought to myself, none of those kids are smarter than me. I'm not calling anybody dumb, but I'm just saying if that program is talented and gifted, I'm not in it. Now, that rubbed me the wrong way a little bit, but I knew I could be in that program, but I chose not to be, okay? I specifically chose to stay in my honors program and get the high honor roll and made sure that I could ease my way through school, all right? Now that picked up and carried all the way towards high school, all right? Now my senior year in high school, now mind you, I was always a straight A and B student, but my senior year, okay, I had this one class where the English teacher wanted us to read this book, and it was a fiction book on top of that, okay? Fiction is fake. And it was a fiction book on top of that. So she wanted us to read this book. And every single night, it was like 2 or 3 chapters, would come in the next period. It was the first class, first period. And she had this pop quiz for us. And the way she designed this pop quiz, there was no real way to kind of cheat. You had to have read that book to pass that test. So when I realized that I did not have enough time, or I was telling myself I didn't have enough time to read that book, I went to my guidance counselor. I told my guidance counselor that I had a conflict of interest with that teacher, and I'd like to change my class. So the only class I had available was a standard basic class. So I took myself out of an honor roll class, went down to a standard basic class. Now, when I was in that class, it was like a free period. We had to read like 2 or 3 paragraphs and answer a couple questions, and that's it. So that whole time that I could have been in an English class, pushing myself mentally and expanding myself, I decided that I didn't have enough time. I don't want to be in this class because I actually have to work and I actually have to push myself mentally. Now, with that being said, I mean, there were plenty of times that I challenged myself in other areas of life. But when it came to me learning how to read better and having a better understanding on just reading and comprehension, I was not up for the challenge. Now, here's the kicker, okay? I finished high school. I'm working, I'm in my job, in my field. We're talking 26 years old now. So about 8 years later, 9 years later, I found myself in a job making decent money, okay? Making decent money. But I was not fulfilled. I was not satisfied. I was not at where I wanted to be, all right? Now, I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. Now, mind you, up until that entire point of my life, 26 years, I have never picked up a book on my own, like under my own free will to read it. I read 2 books, start to finish, both by Walter Dean Myers, 7th grade, 4th grade. One was Slam, one was called Monster. Other than that, never picked up a book. The moment I picked up a book and actually read it at 26 years old, it completely shifted my life to the point now, 4 years later, I read about 100 books now, okay? Between audiobooks and regular books, about 100 books. Because reading that one book literally transformed my life. Okay? From working a 9-to-5 job to within 18 months of reading that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I was leaving my job with about $3,000 of passive income, ready to build an empire, which I'm doing now. Okay, so the insight behind books is so powerful. And I'm a true believer in books is knowledge. Knowledge is in the books. Read the books and hear the books. Take in the books as much as possible. But what I'm trying to say is now, bringing it all back to you, is if I had maybe picked up that book in my senior year in high school and maybe fell in love with reading or found the right book a little bit earlier in my endeavors, it could have propelled me, because I feel that because I've read so many books over a couple years, it's given me so much knowledge and helped me find so much wisdom and insight and expand myself in so many different areas of life, reading this book and this book and this book and this book. I just kind of wish that now, when I was younger, I was an active reader. And maybe thinking back, like when I was in junior high, if I was in that program, Talented and Gifted, maybe they would have gave us curriculum that would have required me to read more. And then who knows? Now, again, I'm fine with divine time. But my question to you is, what is that challenge that you have that you've been walking away from? Maybe your whole life. There's a skill set, there's a challenge, there's something that you haven't done emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, or maybe even financially, that for you, once you go through that challenge, it's gonna grow you, it's gonna expand you, and it's gonna propel you for the rest of your life. What challenge are you walking away from? I mean, there's the point that I want to learn Spanish. I still have not learned Spanish. So who knows, with me not learning Spanish and my lack of challenging myself in that area of my life, would do for me mentally. Who knows? And who knows what challenge that you have that you always wanted to do, you always had ideas of, but you never actually committed the time, discipline, work, and effort to grow yourself in that area. Well, I'm telling you now, if you go ahead and pick up that challenge and you start challenging yourself, on the other side of that challenge is growth and expansion. And if you get that bug to keep on challenging yourself in different areas of life, you are now expanding. So I challenge you to challenge yourself. Now, here's a habit that I picked up about a year and a half ago. And to me, it was so challenging, but so rewarding and so worth the while that I want to challenge you, okay? And what I want to challenge you to do is a 30-day meditation. So first and foremost, spend a day or two just studying meditation, all right? Just kind of understanding, like, what it is, how you do it, where you go about it, them ideas, the ideology behind it, the concept. Just study that, right? Then do this. Pick a time where it's completely dark and no one's around and there are no distractions, no scratching your nose, no moving, no bathroom breaks, no noises, no nothing, just complete silence, sitting up, not sleeping, focusing on only your breath, not letting your mind go anywhere else. Listen, this is the 30-day challenge, and I feel that if you step up to this challenge, it's going to grow you in so many different ways. For 20 minutes a day for the next 30 days, I want you to find a period of just silence, not moving, no distractions, no nothing, no noises, no music, no nothing, just sitting still, eyes closed for 20 minutes a day. It's a challenge. Can you do it? Are you up for the challenge? And I'm telling you that just having that discipline to actually challenge yourself, and then building the discipline through actual meditation and finding that peace and coming out of that meditation nice and poised will help you in other areas of your life as well. How are you challenging yourself? Take a deep dive. Look in that mirror and really ask yourself, how am I challenging myself? And am I challenging myself? And why am I not challenging myself? And then come back to this video. Maybe you got to watch it again. Leave a comment and let me know. what you're going to do to challenge yourself, and how you're going to expand yourself. And as always, my brother, and as always, my sister, I invite you, let's grow together. I'll see you in next week's video.